Thank you so much, both, for your valuable insights. It's so encouraging to hear success stories of how innovation is already being supported, right? So, next, please, I would like to welcome two special guests. First, Rory Cameron, CEO of Genius, and Larissa Ramirez, International CVRM Medical Director at AstraZeneca, to present a showcase of holistic thinking in healthcare.
Thank you so much, Natalia, and welcome everyone to this session. As we just saw in our previous session, definitely we are entering a new era in healthcare, and digital technology is definitely transforming the way that we are doing medicine, the way that we are approaching patients, and the way also we are treating patients at the end. So we are really focusing in the ecosystem and the unmet needs. And I have the opportunity to work in collaboration with Rory in a couple of different projects that we have already under implementation in Middle East and Africa, and also some other initiatives with potential expansion across emerging markets. So thank you so much, Rory, for joining us today. Can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Larry, and thanks very much for the invitation. I'm Rory Cameron. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Gendius, a company that was founded on my co-founder's experience of being diagnosed with diabetes at the age of 50. When he was working actually for a pharmaceutical company in the area. His wife was selling insulin as well. So for him, he thought being diagnosed with diabetes wouldn't be such a difficult thing for him to manage. But that proved a very different case. It's a very complex disease, a metabolic disease. And 5 years into that journey, he had his first diabetic foot ulcer, and he was very confused as to why that had happened. And it was on the basis of that we developed Insulin, our platform that takes data from patients and then uses that and uses AI to then predict their risk of developing complications. And then we provide them with hints and tips on how to manage those and prevent them from occurring.
So Rory, we have discussed this before, and it's really important to understand and deeply understand the unmet need coming from the patients, because we normally as externals think that we really understand the problems and the journey that they are going through, but at the end we don't have a real understanding of their what is really important for them. Fortunately enough, you have Chris that gave you those insights. So how should we prioritize when we are thinking, or we have an idea, or we have a potential opportunity, we see an unmet need, how important and how we should approach those potential patients, customers, and how can we really develop an idea that can have a positive impact in the final customer?
Yeah, you and I talk about this quite a lot, actually, about it's interesting. When we go to work, we quite often get into the headspace of, looking at being disruptors, or how we're going to pivot the business, or looking at target markets, etc. And it's really easy for us to forget the fact that we're all patients as well. So, I'm a patient, my parents are patients, my kids are patients. So the first thing I would say, the easiest thing to do is just to keep your own patient hat on. So what are the things that you would want to happen to you, how you'd like to be treated? What are the things you definitely would not like to happen to your data or to you as well? And I think that's probably the simplest thing we can do, is we all have that, and it's about bringing that along with us. The other thing we do is we have a lot of people in the business who have diabetes, in our case, or who care for or are married to or partners of people with diabetes. So everyone in the business really understands all of those pressure points, challenges and issues, either supporting someone or being someone with diabetes itself.
Rory, from your previous experience, what are the main challenges and barriers that we are facing as the healthcare sector? And how can we really overcome those challenges when it comes to really patient, and not only patient, because we have discussed this also so many times, the importance and the role that the patient carers and the families, partners, play as part of this ecosystem, especially in patients with, I mean, any kind of disease, but we are talking here type 2 diabetes?
Yeah, so again, for me, it's about being transparent and honest and asking permission for what you're trying to do. So in our case, we have an app-based platform that the patient or the person with diabetes can download and use. And we originally developed a dashboard that the healthcare team could then review the patient information from. So the individual controls everything. They say where their data is going to go and they share it with their healthcare team if they want to. But it's funny what you meant, as you mentioned about carers and family, because now we see people wanting to share that information directly with their family and other people. So that dashboard becomes really important for them. So for me, it's just about really ensuring that individuals know what's happening. We get their consent. And then by doing that, we can flex these different platforms and use it in different ways that supports people.
Your solution, Rory, is definitely fitting into our different programs. And we definitely at AstraZeneca are driving a change in the mindset of the way that we are approaching disease management, moving away from the pill management into the platform or disease management approach. So we have discussed this about, too many times now, I think. But what is the role? And we have the opportunity to identify your solution in a partnership that you're working with Middle East. But also we had the opportunity and look for, the potential use and expansion of this solution through emerging markets. So what is the role that you as an entrepreneur see of partnering with pharma companies or middle or big size industries at this point in time?
Yeah, well, I was thinking about it this morning, actually, because I was thinking, actually, it's just about a year ago that we pitched at a pitching competition. We were in the finals of it. And it was through that competition that we met up with AstraZeneca. And so in that space of 12 months, things have accelerated dramatically. The advantage, it ties back all the way to the plenary session today. The advantage of having small, innovative, nimble companies coming in with different ideas is great for AstraZeneca. But the other way, the advantage is great for us in that we really struggle with scale. We really struggle with global access to markets. When we pitched, as I said just over a year ago, it was at the time when the next innovation hub was being created by AstraZeneca across the Gulf region, so the GCC. Our solution around diabetes obviously fitted really well with a local challenge around the Gulf states around type 2 diabetes. And also at the same time, AstraZeneca were launching their new Educate platform, so an educational platform for healthcare professionals. And so we've embedded our platform into that. And then AstraZeneca have enabled us to scale across the Gulf region, something we would never be able to do. And then now, of course, we're having those discussions around the other innovation hubs. So once we've proven that concept across the Gulf states, can we then move on and move into other markets and do elsewhere? So it's a huge synergy, a great partnership for me. It's about AstraZeneca being able to get innovative, new, nimble businesses that are looking at small slices of really important areas. And for us, it's great because we can scale, we can become global. There was an investor who said to me that our marketplace was very colourful in that we're going all over the world for such a small company. And that's really down to AstraZeneca.
I think you're making a very important point here, Rory. And what from my side as AstraZeneca, or really changing the mindset, as I mentioned before, from the pill to the disease management platform. I think we really need to understand the unmet need of our customers, as we discussed before. And once we have that identified and really understand the solutions or the problem, we really understand the problem, we can bring the solutions that can fit, into the ecosystem the best way possible. But for me, a really clear cut when we choose partnerships is the vision and, the whole final objective of really changing the paradigms when it comes to healthcare and treatment of patients, right? And giving them the support that they are looking for. Can you share just these final thoughts on your objective as Intelline and as Gendius in the change that you really try to do in patients' lives?
Yeah, for us, it really takes us straight back to that journey of Chris. He never understood why he had a foot ulcer. Many patients with diabetes don't understand why they go on to have kidney failure, heart failure, all these complications. Most people don't know about these complications. And so for us, it's about empowering and educating people so that it doesn't happen to anyone else.
Thank you so much, Rory, for sharing your thoughts with us. And I will give the word to Natalia again. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Larissa and Rory. It was great to hear how holistic thinking is improving the lives of patients and shaping the future of healthcare.